back to Cooking with 504 Road Trips. Tonight we're going to be making sweet Thai chili pork fillet, except we're substituting chicken for the pork, and it comes with zesty edamame rice and roasted broccoli. We've substituted green beans for the broccoli. HelloFresh isn't paying me anything to do this, but this is something we've done almost every night for the last 3 years, and just wanted to show, some of the advantages of using a meal service. It doesn't have to be HelloFresh. That's the one that we use. We've tried other ones. This is the only one we've really liked. And if you follow this recipe, you can get the ingredients for this recipe from this grocery store and make it yourself without any meal service. The advantage to HelloFresh is that they deliver the food in a box every week. And if you have to gather all the stuff for a week's worth of meals and put them in the fridge, and then you skip a night and don't make it, and next thing you know, you got a bunch of rotten vegetables in the refrigerator and a bunch of spoiled meat, and you end up throwing it all away. So that's the reason why we use the meal service. We order as many meals per week as we're going to cook and eat, and no more, and it typically works out pretty well. So this is what came with the meal kit. We have green beans, edamame, cilantro, which goes straight in the garbage because we don't like cilantro. We got a lime. This is sweet Thai chili sauce, ponzu sauce, jasmine rice, one of these funny looking onions.
They're called shallots.
A shallot, chicken stock concentrate. That's everything that comes with the meal kit. And then from the pantry we need butter, salt and pepper, and cooking oil. And we use white pepper because I just think it tastes better. Utensils and that sort of thing, all the basic stuff, but we need a pot to cook rice in. We need a lime zester, a knife. These things here are called pinch cups. They're good for pre-portioning out small, you need a teaspoon of salt or whatever, and you don't have to be fooling with a teaspoon in the middle of cooking. You just put it in there and you have it ready to go in. Measuring cup and some sort of bowl. And of course, we have the whole array of spatulas, wooden spoons, that sort of thing that might come in handy. Step 1 calls for setting the oven to 450 degrees. Always remember to do that first. Then we have prep work, which is a little bit time consuming, but for the green beans, I like to cut the ends off and then cut them into small pieces. So that's our green beans. Next, the funny looking onion.
They're called shallots.
Cut the ends off, cut it in half. Peel the skin off. And we mince it. I know my knife technique isn't perfect, but it's a hell of a lot better than it was when we first started doing this a few years ago. I learned a lot by watching old Frank Davis videos, and if you're not from New Orleans, you won't know who Frank Davis is, but there's any number of cooking shows that you can watch that'll teach you how to do different things like this. Now, this little thing here is the most useful tool in the kitchen, and it was an ice scoop for tiny little ice cubes. And tiny little ice cubes weren't really useful, but this is good for scooping stuff up off the cutting board. So the next instruction is to zest and quarter the lime. If you've never zested lime before, you basically take one of these little tools, and this is sharp right here, and you just kind of drag it against the lime, and little bits of the lime peel come off. And you don't need a whole lot of it. And if you always thought that the lime peel was just garbage, it actually adds flavor. The only thing is you don't want to go too deep with it because it'll get bitter. And you may want to make sure you clean the lime real good, because you might be thinking, well, you're just going to throw the peel away, so it doesn't have to be clean. But no, clean it, because you're going to be eating that. And I used the paper plate there because that's the best way to catch the lime zest, because it does tend to go everywhere. Put that in a little pinch cup. So the next step is going to be to cook the rice. Put the pot on the stove, turn on the burner on high, put in 1 1/4 cups of water and the bag of jasmine rice. And then we just let that sit on the stove until the water boils. Rice always calls for a big pinch of salt. That's about enough for me. Now, as the rice is heating up, starting to boil, I always continually stir it. Well, not continually, but stir it every minute or so, just to keep the rice from sticking to the bottom of the pot. And usually it works pretty well. And then when the water does finally come to a boil, we turn the heat all the way down to low. Put the lid on it. Set a timer for 15 minutes. So I've done some preparation of the chicken in advance. I usually just give it the once over, make sure it doesn't have anything that looks like gristle in it, and then kind of rinse it under cold water. And then we pat it dry with paper towels. And I'm super paranoid about chicken, so it's going to be cut out of the video, but I'm going to probably wash my hands with hot soapy water 5 times before I'm done fooling with this chicken, because I just don't like handling chicken. And see, now I can't touch the salt and pepper without washing my hands. That's pepper. That's salt. No, that's salt, sorry. And this salt grinder actually puts out very little salt. That might look like a lot of salt, but it's really not. And then the next step is going to be to put it in the skillet. I'm going to put it in the skillet that side down so I can salt and pepper the underside. And hopefully do that without touching the chicken again and contaminating my hands. While we're waiting for the skillet to heat up, I'm going to prepare the green beans with some cooking oil. And we're going to add salt and pepper to those. They didn't give any other kind of seasoning for this recipe, so that's just going to be salt and pepper. And just take it and do that in kind of a circular motion to get the oil and the salt and pepper all over everything, and those are ready to go in the oven. So now the skillet's heated up, we're going to... Okay, that didn't quite work the way I wanted it to, so I got to touch the chicken again. And the idea here is to sear the chicken, because then it's going to bake in the oven. So I don't do this very hot. I don't want the chicken to be dried out. I'm just going to basically cook the chicken for a couple of minutes on each side until it's seared, and then it's going to go in the oven. And for that, we use this Le Creuset ceramic baking dish. Always a little bit of oil on the bottom. And now we just wait for the chicken to finish searing. And typically what I'll do is I'll just go about a minute on each side, or a minute at a time anyway, and see what it looks like. The recipe originally called for pork, which is going to cook differently. So, I mean, as you can see, that the outer part of the chicken is cooked, but of course the inner part is nowhere near cooked. But 12 minutes in the oven will take care of that. Now, chicken is, like I said, one of those things that I'm super paranoid about, so we use a food thermometer to make sure that it's 165 degrees throughout. So even though it tells me 10 to 12 minutes in the oven, that might turn into 15 minutes if I take it out the oven and it's not up to temperature. And I'm not really sure if this searing part is even necessary with the chicken. I'm just doing it because it says to do it. As far as I'm concerned, all the cooking is going to take place in the oven. So that's 4 minutes in the skillet. So now it's going in here. And that's going to go in the oven. Meanwhile, the green beans are going to go in this well-used cookie sheet. And you want to make sure the green beans are kind of in one layer so that they'll cook evenly. And those are going to come out at the 12-minute mark probably. Got to see how they look, but that's probably going to come out at the 12-minute mark. Those are going on the top rack. And just like that, the rice is done. So we're going to set the timer for 12 minutes. And the rice, we're going to turn off. I'm just going to move it off the burner to sit for a little while. Now, meanwhile, we're going to use this skillet for the pan sauce. So meanwhile, we're going to make the pan sauce, and we've got the shallots, you know, those funny looking onions in here. We're browning them. In this measuring cup here, we've got a 1/4 cup of water, chicken stock concentrate, and ponzu and sweet Thai chili sauce. And when you do any kind of stock concentrate in advance like this, you know, which you do to save time so you're not opening a bunch of packets when it's all time to go in there, make sure and stir it real good, because that stock concentrate's got a lot of oil in it and it just tends to stick to the bottom of the measuring cup. So this is brown. We're going to dump this in here. Reduce the heat a little bit, and then that's just going to cook until it's reduced, until it thickens up a little bit. Take about a minute or two. So I think that's pretty well reduced. We turn the heat off and add a squeeze of lime juice. It's a very dry lime, and it's squirting everywhere but where I want it to go. And a tablespoon of butter, and we let the butter melt into it. And we move on to the next step. So now to finish the rice, we add the edamame, the lime zest, I say half the cilantro, which we threw in the garbage because we don't like cilantro, salt and pepper, and we mix it up, fluff it up. And just in time to take the green beans and the chicken out of the oven. Green beans look good. Chicken looks good. We got to test it with the temperature probe. And in the fattest part of the chicken, it's reading 190 degrees, so that chicken's done. So next we're going to serve this up. This is a lot of food too. Now the rice is sticky, but what I said about stirring the rice as you're waiting for it to boil, it's a little sticky, but it's not all burnt to the bottom of the pot. And last, we put the pan sauce, which is, I don't know if I did this exactly right. I'll put some edamame in there, but I'm sure it'll taste good. The pan sauce goes on top of the chicken. And that should do it. So, thanks for watching. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Put a comment below. Let us know if you want us to do this kind of content in the future. If you haven't already, please subscribe, share, and follow us on social media, and join us for our next 504 road trip.